Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we'll be talking about how to apply for the UK visa online. So you just search on the Google page, and it gives you these options, and you click on the first option. Then you will just go through the requirements for the visitor's visa, looking at the overview, basically what you need to know, before you apply for the visa. It's very important so that you have all documents handy, including the cost, of course, the visa fee, and what have you. So once you're done, you see the um, arrow line where you can click apply now. But before then, again, review all the details as regards the information so that you're well informed. So once you're done with that, you just scroll up again to the apply now button, where you can proceed with the application. In the next page, you just select the language you'd want to apply the application with. So English language, of course, since we are from an English speaking country. Then, of course, you provide the country where you would want to submit your biometrics. Of course, for the purpose of this application, it will be Nigeria. So ensure that you have information on the availability of biometric centers within your locality or within the country you're applying from. So in Nigeria, we have TLS as their third-party agency for visa application submission. So be sure that you do your findings, that you have a location within the country you're applying from. So I mean, the video would it do it by yourself, so I won't be doing much talking. But again, highlighting key areas or key attention you need to pay attention on, rather key areas you need to pay attention on. So you'll be seeing more of information, scrolling, showing you the pages or showing the lines where you need to pay quick attention to, so that you don't get um, refused, or you don't apply with a wrong application format. So basically, this page just gives you information around who should use this online portal for application and who should not, right? And also gives you how the account will be inactive for certain amount of time if you don't get to quickly use the information. So we just proceed with inputting your email address and your password, of course, something that you should always remember. So once you're done inputting, then you just save and continue. So you choose, of course, the primary contact will be by email address, by your the email address you've provided. So indicate appropriately if it belongs to you or belongs to someone else. Also explain or indicate if you have additional email addresses aside the first one. If you don't know, save and continue. Of course, put your telephone number, a valid telephone number with the country code and what have you. Yes, so basically, the thing about the visa is that once you are selected an email address, the confirmation link drops into that email, where you can get the link to either continue application if you have not submitted, or save your application. So it's important that you give an active and a valid email address for that purpose. The email address also helps you to recover your application, like I said earlier on. in case you don't want to finish it up at that time of application. So a recovery link always goes back to the email address when you click on the return to this application profile or link rather. To ensure you provide the necessary contact details, up to date of course, so that in case if the embassy wants to contact you, then they can give you a direct contact. They can contact you directly. So again, the application is a bit easy. So you just follow through the user where you need to provide the necessary information, so that you can get the all the information filled up as required. So it's not something that will take your time. Average 15 minutes max. You should be done with this. And of course, this application process gives you not just how to fill the form, but also how to upload the form, upload your application documents on the portal, so that you reduce the time you would need to spend at the visa application center. So you already pre-upload and you just go to the center for just biometric capture. You can also choose to not upload, just take your documents physically to the application center. It all depends on what works best for you, basically. So you provide all information, like I said, as correct as possible, ensuring that all necessary details are filled as requested by the portal, because once you get something wrong, then you won't be able to proceed to the next phase or the next page. So as you can see, there was a date. I think I put the wrong issue date. A date later than the current day that we are in. So I had to correct that and try again. Okay, so it went through. So it's very also just to also guide you in terms of not making errors or something. The system would always bounce some improper information. They'll bounce it out to call your attention to it, basically. I think basically for online visa application, I actually prefer them more than doing paper submissions, because you are sure of what you're submitting yourself, right? So you kind of give a 360 confirmation of everything you're doing, in terms of the application. So you don't get to rely on another third party to do for you. So I think that form of assurance and ownership, gives me a bit of peace of mind when I'm doing an online application. So I think, yeah, that's the reason why I like online applications. So again, just flow with the information requesting process, where you can get all your so I mean you can provide all the information as the portal requests you to do, and ensure that whatever information you're providing, you have evidence to back it up. So if you are employed, your employer's name you put. Then of course, while you're uploading your documents, you need to be sure that you have employment letter or letter of introduction that is introducing you as a staff of the company you've mentioned as your employer. It's very important you have that document, of course, so that whatever you are saying on the form, you have physical evidence to back up your claim. At times people just fill form, and when it comes to uploading information, they just assume that certain documents are not required, which of course is a recipe for visa refusal. So it's important that you ensure you back up whatever claim. If you're married, of course, marriage certificate. If you have kids, if you have dependents, if you mention that you have dependents, then your children birth certificate. If you've mentioned that you have maybe 2.5 million naira for the trip, then of course your bank statement should be reading times three or above that stated expenses you'll be giving on the while you are in the UK. Also ensure that if you mention that you're a salary earner, then of course your pay slips, which gives the right evidence of your monthly income, should be attached to your application. So you should do that clearly. Pay slip for the last 6 months. Usually I also advise people that, yeah, you actually use the bank statement where the salary is being transferred to monthly, so that it also further boost up your claim for salary earnings. So if you have additional income, if you have additional investment, you can declare. But again, like I had mentioned, you should back them up with documentary evidence. It's important. And for UK, it's way more like you need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you have these monies, you have these resources at your disposal. So whatever you're doing, you should be able to close any gap in information. So like I had mentioned, if you declare that you are spending 2.5 million in as an expense at the cost for your visit, then you should be able to have a robust bank statement. So whatever you are stating as an expense, right, on your trip, should be times three of what you have in your closing balance. So for instance, if you state that you're spending 2.5 million on the trip, then your closing balance reasonably should be over 7.5 million naira. Then of course, if you declared your expenses, you should be considerate, not just necessarily stating any numbers, but be considerate and be real and open as possible, because visa officers have an understanding of whatever country they are treating the application, so they would want to judge based on the current realities. So if you give them a figure that is not tenable, then it's a recipe for refusal. So be realistic and be truthful as open as possible. Okay, so I think on the application form, it gives you also the opportunity to review previously provided data or information. So in case you have any issue, you can click on the change button if you notice any gap or any misinformation where you can quickly correct. This is just for illustration sake, so just correcting it to 8,000 pounds, then you save and continue. So if you scroll down, you would see that it actually reflects on the changes you've made actually reflected. But again, this is not like you've submitted, but it's just giving you the insight to say you can actually review back what you've filled in case there are errors. You can change accordingly and proceed with your application. Yes, on the main purpose of visit, for this video will be picking tourism, then you will be asked to provide further information on your tourist visit. So basically, you give more information around the places you want to visit, the locations. Usually I advise people to include also top tourist locations or tourist attractions. So that it gives a sense of preparedness, like you're prepared for this trip. Once they are reviewing your application, so you could see for this application we've included Buckingham Palace, London Eye, Big Ben. I mean, some top tourist attractions. So it's just basically explaining in not sure why you want to visit the UK at this time. If you have people dependent on you, remember I had said if you have declared that you have dependents like your children, then of course in your application you need to include their birth certificates to prove that dependency relationship with you. you know so that's good to also show socioeconomic type, particularly when your dependents are not traveling with you. So show to the embassy or to the visa officer that you actually would come back at the end of your trip. So if you have family members that live in the UK, of course you need to declare. If you have any family relationship in the UK, you need to declare. Then the list goes on, but you just feel appropriately as it that applies to you. Um, on this or for this video, we treated it as an individual application, so a single application for the UK. So if you have persons traveling with you, you declare accordingly. If you have accommodation in the UK, either an hotel or someone is inviting you over, then this is where you declare this information to show clearly where you're staying in the UK. So, like I said, any information you provide, you need to back up with evidence. So, for if you're staying in the hotel, then of course you need an hotel reservation. You don't need to pay for it, right? You just need the reservation to reservation confirmation sent by the hotel, which you would attach to your visa application document, and you submit it as you upload the documents online. Then if you have been invited, the person inviting you from the UK would of course send you an invitation letter where clearly the address of where you'll be staying is will be stated. And if you are visiting multiple locations, then of course you can include basically other areas where you'll be staying, information on other areas where you'll be staying. Then of course if you visit the UK before, you could provide the most the top three most recent times you've been in the UK. If you visit 10 times, but the top three the most recent times, right? The top three of the most recent times you declared there. And if you of course have other travel histories, visited some other countries within Europe, New Zealand, Australia, USA, Switzerland, you need to declare. If you don't, then you just put zero. like we did here. So if you have other world travel history aside the UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, you need to also declare. And one thing you need to also know is that if you've been refused before, please don't hesitate to declare, because previous refusals necessarily does not mean you would be refused again, right? But if you fail to declare, then the, and the visa officer discovers this, then it's more like you're sharing, you're hiding, you're concealing the fact, and it could make your visa application get refused. So you need to declare if you've been refused before. And most of these countries actually share information. So if you think they would not know, unfortunately, they have those back end information sharing mechanisms, or platforms or systems where you could be caught up in that web, and unfortunately you get denied because of you concealed some information. So you declare, you also check all the other information around um, terrorist activities and what have you. I mean, in the normal sense, it's always a no, 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 no response. Of course, if you say yes, then yeah. I mean, again, you have to be truthful, of course, but in the real sense, it's a negative question. So if you say yes, of course, it could affect the overall outcome of your visa application. So if you have additional information you want the visa officer to know about, you can fix it in that box there, and save and continue. So you're about ending the filling application, the form filling process. So you need to check and review all the information you've provided from the beginning. So like I said, if you have any cost to change, you can change on the button, from there. If not, if you're okay with the information, you can just click on the continue button. Yeah, so yeah, it gives you some mandatory documents you need to provide while you're coming for the biometric submission. So you just check the boxes and you proceed. So these are more like declarations of you being able to abide by the immigration rule, the UK immigration rule. So of course you have to confirm and declare that you understand the terms and conditions of your visa if granted. So after this, you'll be required to make the visa payment with your card online. So you can either choose to pay with your dollar card, your euro card, whatever card, of course. Restrictions in Nigeria won't allow you to pay with your naira card, so you have to be with a US dollar card. So you select the options, the visa options you want to pay for. Either 6 months, either 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years. Of course, depending on the duration, the cost would differ. I've just selected the 6 months visa option, which of course is 145 US dollars, 149 rather US dollars. So that's the cost. So once you're done with it, you click and you pay. So be sure that you've confirmed all the information provided, because once you pay, you won't be able to edit any of those information. You can either save, continue, or you can download as PDF, sign out to review and be sure of the information before you actually pay. But if you're sure and you've reviewed and you've done your due diligence, then of course you can proceed. So after you've paid, this is the page. This is what the page would look like. So you first download the checklist, which you will be printing out to take to the embassy. Then once you're sure once you've done that, then you click on the proceed, provide documents and biometrics, which will take you to the page where you would be registering your what's it called, your the appointment for biometrics. You can also choose to download the forms, application form for your reference purpose still on the page. So once you click on it, you just provide to provide your biometrics. You follow the appropriate information, which of course, like I said, you'll be redirected to the third party application, this application partner, which is TLS, where you'll be required to, there were some other information right before this page, so I just bypassed it. But once you're there, you can see the information yourself. But this is primarily what the page will look like. So you have the option of selecting whatever additional services you'd want to get at the TLS website. If you need priority service, this is where you select it also. Of course, you pay for any of the services, any of the paid services you have to pay at the end. So yes, so this is what the appointment booking page would look like. First, you have the assisted service, which of course explains there's it would what it requires, what it means, and you have the self-service. So for this application, we'll be using the self-service option, which allows us to upload our documents. But for the assisted service, it's a paid function, and you need to take your documents to the application center for them to upload for you. So I changed from assisted to self-service. You could see the switch there. Then you have the options available in terms of the timing, but you need to be careful because sometimes for paid engagement, so you need to really look at the key items, or the timing, right? And look out for what it means. So in most cases, you look for either appointments that are not within specific allotted time marks for people to pay for. You have to look for appointments that are free of payments because if you make a mistake, then you have to pay for it, at the end. But of course, you can still edit, if you don't want to. So this is an appointment that is not paid for. So you would see that at checkout it will be a zero total money to be paid, which shows that it's not a paid appointment. And so for some persons in Lagos, for if you select Victoria Island as your point of application submission, then you have to pay an extra fee. This booking is different because it didn't pick it picked Ikeja as its choice visa application center. So please take note It's very important because once you select, you cannot change. So once you select a particular center, you cannot change. And so once you are done, the confirmation will be sent to your mail as your appointment booking. You get that in the registered email address you used while filling the visa application form. So once you're done and appointment is confirmed, then you can now self-upload. Remember, we use the self-service option, so we can. That's where you see the upload button. If you did not pick that, then you won't get it on your portal. So the self-upload option is quite simple and direct. It gives you how to upload info, gives you information how to upload information, what categories are available, and how you are able to categorize them based on the type of application form you're uploading, you're wanting to upload. So you could see clearly categories, covering financial evidence, employment evidence, um, accommodation proof, so you basically categorize each of those applications, or each of those application documents to fit into the category that is required. So guys, this is after all done, this is like what the total page will look like once you've been able to upload and categorize your documents effectively. This is what the total page would look like, to show you all the documents you've uploaded and how you've been able to categorize them. So if you're sure of all what you've uploaded, you proceed to click submit. Again, if you're not sure, you need to review, because once you submit, there's no going back really. So that's the warning. So you need to confirm that you've gotten the right document uploaded. So once you submit, it gives you a confirmation that document has been submitted. You need to ensure that you print this out, because you need to present it to at the visa application center as evidence that your documents have indeed been submitted, so that they just take your biometric and that's it. So ensure you have this evidence printed out as part of the application documents you'll be taken to the embassy. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you find it very useful, please of course subscribe, please share, and please comment. Please drop your comments in the comment section if you have any